August 8th, we left Arizona and we drove to LA, and we spent a few days with my best friend and her family, just enjoying the beach, enjoying last few moments with them and her family. And then on the 10th, we flew out from LA to Paris, and we actually had a whole mishap with Marlowe's paperwork. We had to track down the UPS delivery, and we had to go to the actual site because it was so delayed, and it said it wasn't going to be sent to us until Monday morning, and our flight was Sunday afternoon, so you can only imagine how chaotic we felt. We were ringing up everyone we possibly could. I reached out on Facebook groups, and thankfully I had so many helpful people just support us and give us advice, and even have contacts that we could reach out to get his paperwork sorted so that we could actually make the flight, because without that paperwork he was not allowed to fly to Europe, and it also included his health certificate for England as well. So we needed both of those to come through. So we were able to track it down, drive to the facility on Saturday afternoon, and beg the worker. He was very nice, and he was able to find someone in the back to go through all the bins to find it, pretty much. And so he got it. We were sorted. We were so excited. And then the last night we just spent watching a movie at a park. It was lovely. It was nice to spend some time with my second family in California and get ready for the next day. Then on Sunday, we woke up and we drove to LA. Our flight was at like 1 p.m. We kind of just stood around a lot. No one seemed to be able to help us determine where we were supposed to drop off Marlo. They barely looked at our paperwork. It was kind of a very crazy experience. And the whole time I was just a hot mess. I was crying the entire hour and a half before getting through security and everything. Saying bye to him was so hard. Wishing he could understand me and know he was going to be okay broke my heart. So everyone who moves their pet abroad, it is insanely hard, and yeah, I'm just happy it's over. I'm so happy it's over. But when we got to Paris, 10 hours later, we walked to the baggage claim area, and again, there wasn't much signage as far as where to pick him up. So I kind of just wandered around, and I see in the corner there's two guys just on their phones hanging out, and a few cages. And so I ran over there, and instantly I saw Marlo, and he started crying, and I was able to check him out and bring him over. And once we opened the cage, I would say that was the realization that we made a huge mistake with not freezing his water in his bowls. I think because we had a few hours drive before getting to LA, we kind of just didn't even think about it, or thought maybe it would melt by the time he would even get to LA, and it would be useless anyways freezing it. But I wish we would have put ice or frozen water, because he was so severely dehydrated. Thankfully, there was no feces on him or anything. Maybe a little pee in his bed, but it honestly wasn't terrible at all. And he did so good. But he drank 3 bottles of water as soon as we landed. He was very tired and thirsty. And so then the next big journey was from Paris all the way up to northern England near Manchester. And Alex's mom and stepdad are very kind, and they drove to Paris a few days prior. We made sure to buy them a little weekend in Paris. And so they spent a few nights there, and then they picked us up in what we thought was going to be a bigger car. I definitely think we all underestimated the size of our luggage versus the size of their car. So we had 4 large suitcases. We had 2 small carry-ons. We had Marlo, and we did have his crate, but we had to abandon it in Paris at the airport, because where were we going to store that thing? I have no idea. I thought about strapping it to the top of the car, but that was not feasible at all. So we took all of the suitcases and just put them in the car as best as we could. It ended up being where It was me and Alex in the back seat, and Marlo was on Alex's lap, and we were surrounded by suitcases on each side of us. In the middle, I was like this. I have a video where it's like the suitcase is here and the window is here, and we had to be like that for about 9 hours. So wasn't comfortable, but again, part of the journey, part of the experience. We had a good laugh about it. Marlo, he was exhausted, and you could tell he was just asleep like this the whole time. And we would stop every so often so that he could go to the bathroom, but he was just, I think, very jet lagged. So once we were all settled at his mom's house, she lives in the countryside, so it was beautiful, and we got to spend a few days just getting over jet lag, meeting up with family and friends, and we went on a 2-week trip to explore some of the Baltic countries. We explored Estonia, Latvia, and Sweden, and that was great. I lived in Sweden for 2 years, so I love going back, seeing my friends, and showing Alex all of, you know, the great things that I miss so dearly about Sweden. Tallinn was like a very modern city, and there was a whole like art area and really cool restaurants. I think it'd be a really fun place to go if you worked remotely and wanted to like go somewhere for a week or two and work while you're there. It felt like they had a good hub for that. And then Riga was really beautiful. Loved the garlic rye bread. It was disgustingly rich, but it was so good. And they also have this amazing cherry beer we tried. That was phenomenal. But yeah, overall we had a lovely 2 weeks. So then we had to go back to reality and go back to England and look for a place to live and figure out all the logistics. I was able to sort my phone out pretty easily, which was great. And then the hardest part was us finding a place to live, because most rentals don't allow dogs, which is crazy because majority of them have backyards, the ones we were looking at least. So it took a while, and we were, you know, upping our budget literally every week, every time we got denied. And we finally found a place that said yes to a dog. And it doesn't have a backyard, unfortunately, but it does have like a shared yard. So that's good enough for him, and he's loving it so far. And look how cute it is. Like, this is my favorite part, probably, the fireplace. It's just so cozy and like quintessential English charm that I envisioned, I guess. And there's a cobblestone road, and we're close to town, which is lovely. Our village is so nice. We can walk to like really cool restaurants, cafes, and then there's like mountains nearby. We can go hiking, and everyone in England is gonna laugh at I said mountains, hills, but I think they look a lot like Oregon. So it's like a comfort of home, definitely. And then what else? Oh yeah. So to keep things chaotic, I didn't get a job until the first week of October. So September was basically just like getting the house sorted. We went to IKEA, which was fun, got a bunch of furniture, and my role was pretty much setting up the house and making it more livable while Alex started work. And then I was applying for jobs, interviewing, and the last week of September, my birthday week, we actually ended up going to Cotswolds, and we spent the entire week there, which was amazing. I'll insert a few clips from our time there. We went to as many villages as we could while we were there. We mostly stayed near Cirencester, I think it's pronounced. Cute village, again, really nice shops, and really cute like farm shops nearby, restaurants. I really loved Broadway because you can walk up to the Broadway Tower. It's stunning views, and it felt more like people would live there. Okay, let's skip ahead to what life has been like here. So far, it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed it. I've met some great friends. I joined like a yoga club, and that's how I started meeting people. I met a few girls through TikTok, and yes, they're American, but I do believe you meet the best Americans abroad. And they've very quickly become my closest friends, and I love them dearly. And then I met a girl at yoga, and she's been a really good friend of mine. We're actually going to Belgium this weekend, which, again, like, what life am I living where I'm just like, I'm just gonna go to Belgium for the weekend. I'm so excited. It's amazing. And I feel very lucky to be here. The weather honestly hasn't been as bad as British people say it is. I feel like it's more sunny than I thought it was gonna be. Yes, it's cold, very cold, constantly wearing many layers, but it's not terrible. I think the sun makes up for the cold weather. And we'll see how January goes. I did buy vitamin D tablets, and I plan on getting a sun lamp because I heard those help. But any other tips you can provide in the comments below about how to survive British winter, I would love, especially because we're further north, so we do get more rain. But yeah, if you have any questions about the move, I know this was kind of like a quick overview on the journey over and like everything we did regarding moving Marlo over. I could go over the costs a bit more. I think overall, Alex and I are so happy that we made this decision to move to England, and we are excited to see what's to come. I will definitely keep you updated. I promise no more 5-month stints. So if you want to subscribe and follow, and I will see you next time. Bye.